Hello everybody and welcome to Energetic Principles Horoscopes for this Leo season. My name is Melissa LaFara and I am an astrologer and tarot reader from San Diego, California. And today we're going to talk about what's in store for this Leo season. So let's get started.
And may the stars be with you.
All right, Scorpio and Scorpio Rising. What does this Leo season have in store for you? Well, I'm a Scorpio Rising, so I'm right there with you, Scorps. We have a big month, I would say, because there's a lot of energy with this with this Leo season, and we're gonna have two new moons in Leo, and that's huge. That doesn't happen every day, you know. So that first new moon is going to be Sunday, July 23rd, and that's going to be as we squeak into Leo season at 0 degrees Leo. And then we're going to have a solar eclipse, a total solar eclipse in Leo on Monday, August 21st. So we're going to get two new doses of vitality in our life in this Leo season. And for us Scorpios, it's all around our career and what we gain recognition for in life, in our legacy, you know, what it is where our ambitions lie. So chances are ambitions can get a total boost right now, and you're going to feel new vitality around your own career and your social standing. That being said, when ambition comes into place, sometimes your eyes just light up with it and that's all you can see. So just know that if you feel like things are lacking in your life, don't go down that route, because that's not where we want to keep our focus. We want to focus on where we want to go, because our ambitions will take us there. But if we fizzle out before we even have the chance to have that opportunity, that's no good, right? So just don't focus on anything that's lacking in your life, because everything that's setting us up right now is to really put us in a position of strength in our career. And it's been a long time in the making, you know. Scorpios have had to deal with a lot for a long time in many areas. I'm sure you Scorpios out there know that. So that being said, now's the time to really plan. You know, what do you want the world to see you as? If you don't have already something in the works, this could be the perfect time to actually gain new awareness about what your calling is and what you want to put yourself out there as, and how you want to gain recognition and have others see you. But if you already have that in place, this is the time to really kind of revitalize that and get all the energy you can out of that, and boost your career at this time, you know. And mostly we as Scorpios need to be aligned with a career that really it taps into what it is we love and our creative abilities, in a sense, and where we can shine, because in order for us to be aligned with the right career choices for us, we kind of have to shine a little bit. So this Leo energy is going to be really painting that picture for us and saying, you know what? If you're not expressing yourself enough, now's the time to step out there and do it, because the world needs you. The world wants to recognize how the star that you are. So how can we get out there? Because our heart is calling, and it's on board with, our calling. Our heart is calling our calling right now. So how can we boost that? So the next aspect I want to talk about is Jupiter in Libra squaring Pluto in Capricorn. And that's going to happen Friday, August 4th. And that is something that's been happening a long time. This is an old cycle. So basically we're hitting the last kind of crisis point of this cycle. And these are types of aspects that move the world. It's not more just us, or it's not something you're going to feel like that. It's more about this underbelly tone that's going on. So you're going to see it in yourself and you're going to see it in the world. So that being said, they made the conjunction back in 2007. So that's how old this issue is. And especially in that Pluto position for the last 8 years or so, we've been really working on our own mind, and renewing areas of how we think, you know, because our thought patterns could have been self-defeating at times, and a bit negative. And that's just what happens when you have Capricorn in that area. But, you know, with Pluto there, it's all about renewing that and taking on these new ways of viewing things in our lives. And especially with Jupiter in Libra, kind of giving a turning point of that in that area, we're accessing this hidden part of our chart, essentially. And Jupiter is really asking us to grow in areas of faith, having faith around what it is that we're doing, and not let our mind get into these little details and nitpick what it is that might not already be in existence. And then this unconscious fear comes up, and then we can't get to where we want to go based on those considerations. And especially in relationships and partnerships, and people we deal with on a one-to-one basis. So, you know, we're growing in areas of how we can kind of leave the whole, you know, self-sabotage thing behind, especially with our own thoughts. Like, how can we get them on board? You know, because essentially our communications are being asked to grow. Like, how we relate to other people and communicate our truth has changed over time. And so now it's kind of getting that last little boost where we're asked to, you know, communicate from complete honesty, not only to another person, but when we talk to ourselves. You know, where can we really be honest there, and kind of weed our spiritual closet so that we can really grow. So that being said, let's move on to our next aspect, which is Monday, August 7th. And that's when we're going to have our full moon lunar eclipse in Aquarius. So for this full moon eclipse for us Scorps, this is kind of, you know, because an eclipse is going to release something. You know, any full moon releases. But when eclipse comes around, it's a release and it's gone. Over a handful of months. So we're going to be really releasing around endings in our lives, you know. Certain things literally are going to end or have ended. And we have to get emotionally on board with that and release our own emotions around the endings that have happened. And certain childhood issues may come up, you know, childhood emotions that are triggers for us could come up at this time. And it's time to let go of certain old foundational characteristics that no longer work, especially psychologically. So chances are a lot of the past and a lot of memories might flood in at this time. And the question is are we haunted by them, or do we find joy in what it was that we've experienced? So part of me thinks that this full moon lunar eclipse is really about letting go of our old emotional foundation, so that we can really build on the future, because we're having an opposition here between home and family and our foundation versus our career and how we get ourselves out there in the world. And if our foundation isn't strong, no amount of putting ourselves out there is going to be supported by this thing below. So I think that's a really a consideration with this full moon eclipse. So the next aspect I'm going to talk about is Mercury, who will be going retrograde this Leo season in Virgo, and will be retrograding on Saturday, August 12th, back into Leo until September 5th. And so for us Scorpios, we're going to be really reassessing our goals and wishes. You know, what are we trying to do? What do we see for our big vision, our big plan, our big future? You know, what's our long range plan look like? And do we need to revise it? You know, because we're really, it's time to realign ourselves with some new social considerations. If your social networking group is not working for you anymore, chances are you're going to have to find some new friendships, some new organizations, or revitalize the ones that you have. So that all these are going to be coming up, and we're going to be questioning and reviewing these areas of our lives. And chances are, if we have old friends that we haven't seen in a long time, they're going to come back into our lives at this time, especially with Mercury retrograde. So just expect some old friends maybe to give you a call and just pop into your life, and you'll be like, where do you come from? but when Mercury's going to retrograde back into Leo, and that's really calling us back to our minds rewrapping itself around our career and our legacy and where we're going, and what plans we have to put our heart's desire into place so we can get recognition for what it is that we love. So really the heart wants to light up around this social recognition, and getting our life's work out there. And so our mind, we got to reassess that so our mind is ready. Our mind is ready to get on this career train that we're about to take off on. Because with all these eclipses, chances are in about 8 to 10 months, we're going to see a lot of action in these areas I'm talking about. So make sure that you're ready to work on what it is that you love. And the last aspect I'm going to talk about is actually Venus, who will be has moved into Cancer and will be squaring Jupiter in Libra and opposing Pluto in Capricorn, what I had talked about earlier. And so where that was a more kind of bigger social picture, this one kind of finites it a bit because we have a personal planet that's moving a little faster. For Scorpio, it's really about opening up to relationships outside your comfort zone. Like, how can we open up to situations, relationships, social consideration, ways of relaxation and pleasure that we don't normally take part in. How can we expand our horizons there, and really dispel any fear, unconscious fear that's holding us back, especially if the mind is playing that picture, because once again, we have this self-undoing around our mind. And so how can we bring all those together so that we can really start to understand what it is that we are doing, in a sense. So this is the perfect time to really start to see life in the world through a new lens, something that's a bigger lens, a wide angle, dare I say. And to really open yourself up to trying new things, and just don't let your mind hold you back right now, Scorpio, because this Leo season, there's a lot of power here to kind of reinvent ourselves, especially in social standing. All right, Scorpio, so what does the tarot have in store for this Leo season? Well, we have the Six of Cups as our focus, and Judgment as our grounding. Yeah, I talked about friends coming back into our lives earlier, and chances are this is another kind of revitalization of that point, to where old friends might come back into our lives and memories might surface around where we've been, and where we're going, because essentially it's grounded in our calling. Here we are talking about, how much we're redoing our social recognition and our career and our legacy. And so part of me feels that is tied up in something that's in the past. But also something that we find pleasure around, because this card, Six of Cups, not only does it talk about past and memories and kind of childhood considerations, but it really touches on, it's the Lord of pleasure, and where we find pleasure in life. So part of us could be tapping into a spiritual realization of sorts of what it is that does bring us joy, and aligning ourselves with that. And the fact that it has that past consideration, more now than ever, we can see where we've been and really understand that and take from that, and push us into this renewal that we are going to be experiencing. Chances are there could be a second chance with an old consideration of sorts. And it can be promising just as long as you look at it with fresh eyes, because not everything needs to die in our lives, but sometimes you have to think about it different. You have to view it in a new way, because if something didn't work before and you're still looking at it that way, it's surely not going to work in the future. So there is a part of that at play, I think, with this. A lot of it really just has to do with the ending of the old and the beginning of the new. And even if old is still a consideration there's some type of ending with the old that needs to happen there. But I mean, ultimately, I feel like there's kind of a reckoning around a reconciliation that might need to happen, or a reminiscence about things that bring you joy, and the realization of you know, the truth around what does bring you pleasure, and how that really pardon that, really what might be asking us is to take pleasure in the simple things in life, because just that simplicity of enjoyment may actually renew us and give us what it is we need to succeed, especially with all these career transits that we will be having. All right, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. If you want to find out more about me or find where I'm at, you can find me at energeticprinciples.com. And you can also find me on Facebook and Instagram at Energetic Principles. I also do a weekly podcast, Astrology and Tarot and Inspirational Quote podcast with Shauna McGrath of Neo Feminine Astrology. And that is called The Feminine Principle, Astrology for Authentic Living. All right, so I hope everyone has a wonderful Leo season. And if you like what you see here today, please subscribe to my channel and share with friends. And plus, I'd love to hear your comments and how Leo season is treating you. So please leave comments down below. So I hope everybody has a wonderful season with the Lion. And as always, may the stars be with you.